Hey, welcome to New Jump City, everybody, where we recap the week in American and Japanese sequential art. I am your host, Christian, the unbiased king. And joining me through StreamYards, it is the man, the myth, the legend, the tank top sage. It's Joshua, Gangsta Time Cole.
It's called partner, but it should be called Gangsta Time.
What's good, Chris? What up, everybody listening?
Also joining us, it is our edgelord producer, edgelord Big News Brian.
Sup, nerds?
Hey, we're back with a fun show ahead of us. I'm very excited. How are you guys this week?
Sad.
What? Why?
Good, man. Been better.
Don't worry, guys.
Our glorious Knicks' run ended.
I don't know what you're talking about. It's Nixon 12.
Ah, right. True.
That
How
would
could I have
be
lost
nice.
faith?
It's Nixon 47, dude.
That would be nice.
They just need to lock in, you know?
Did you hear they fired Tibbs?
They did indeed fire Tibbs.
I mean, you want to talk about it?
We could talk about it. We could take a second to mourn Coach Tibbs.
Yeah. I mean, I don't really have much to say. We lost. Pacers played better than us. It is what it is, man. I think we hit a natural limit with our team.
Yeah.
And, even though we surpassed some of those limits at times, I think it's time for a change.
Mm-hmm. It is going to be sad, looking over the bench and not seeing this forever,
Yeah.
with the 3 Ed and Eddie hairs.
Yeah.
I don't know who. I don't know a lot about basketball coaches, but who would you guys get?
I have no idea, man. I think the most obvious answer is Mike Budenholzer, but I don't really believe in him like that. Well, I feel like, I hate to admit it, but I feel like that team was more about Jokic and the talent they had than Budenholzer. But you could say that about a lot of coaches, honestly.
Yeah.
Hey,
I wouldn't mind him here.
What about the Wait, Budenholzer wasn't the coach of
Wasn't that Mike Malone?
It was Mike Malone. Budenholzer was Bucks, I believe.
Oh, Mike Malone, I meant Mike Malone, not Budenholzer. I meant Malone. That's what I meant.
I feel like Malone would do good stuff in the Knicks.
Yeah, I'm not really upset about that. I just think that is the most obvious choice. I think that's why they even fired Tibbs, because they figured, okay, wow, the Nuggets go their coach. I think that's what's gonna happen.
Yeah. It's a shame. How's your One Piece journey going?
It's all right. I'm not so sad about it. It's good. I'm still on Fishman Island. Whole ass war breaking out between no, you guys don't know. I have to explain it. Those listening. The fishmen from the Fishman district, I guess you would say the gangsters and all that, the pirates of the Fishman district, are starting their coup, led by Hody Jones and his crew. And we got to a really, how do I put it? Probably my favorite part of the entire Fishman Island arc so far, which is them talking about Hody, what led him to be how he is, and the I remember the one of the princes. Oh, can you name all three of the princes?
Ooh, yes. Mamboshi.
Shit, I thought that's the one you wouldn't get.
Yeah, that Mamboshi, I remember. The other ones actually might trip me up.
Yeah,
Wow.
might.
I think they are actually. I don't remember. I know there's Mamboshi. That was the fatter
You want me
one.
to give you some time until I finish?
Mm,
I think so. Yeah.
fuck. I know they all end in Boshi.
Okay, you can save yourself. Yeah, they all do end in Boshi.
I just don't remember the.
or Hoshi or something.
Yeah,
like that.
there's obviously Shirahoshi.
But all right, how about you save yourself? Save yourself with this one. Who is objectively the derpiest prince?
Mamboshi.
You don't have to name him.
It's Mamboshi.
Wow. 2 L's.
Wow.
No, the objectively
L's.
derpiest one is the long one. Skinny one.
What's his name?
I mean, I guess it is subjective or whatever.
It is subjective.
I mean, you really think that the chubbier one's derpier?
No, I think you're right.
I
think the
mean,
skinnier
that's
one.
what you really believe.
I think the skinny one.
But it sounded
derpier.
like I reminded you that he existed.
Yeah.
Because he's like, oh, like he's always like, yeah. Yeah, Oda that's exactly how he be looking. Oda challenges you every arc to take these goofy ass characters mad serious.
Yeah,
like,
you're gonna cry over these characters in a couple of chapters.
Yeah. At least the main prince, Fukaboshi, I think.
Yeah, I think that's his name.
Yeah, Fukaboshi. I think that's the main prince.
Big ass arms.
Yeah. 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 He did. He did that. Oh, do you remember the name of that blast attack?
The water thing that Jinbei does, right?
It's really cool.
Shit, Jinbei just did it too.
It's specific to the royal, to like King Neptune.
Ooh.
And only King Neptune.
Oh my god,
and
you're beating me up here. I don't remember. Damn, you finally found my Achilles heel.
It was like ultramarine or something like that. Ultramarine, or
yeah, it's ultramarine.
That's what it's called, right? Yeah. Really cool, actually.
See, these are the things I have to go into the darker. Spots. Yeah, I have to go into the darker depths of my One Piece knowledge. I remember it once it's brought up, and like, of course, it's ultramarine.
I also have a theory that I think the second half of One Piece is a little different for you, because I think you like the phase when you were like quizzing yourself, or like you used to quiz Brian or whoever else, you know what I'm saying? And you just would constantly rewatch shit. That was for the earlier One Piece.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I feel like you stopped being like that type of fan. Damn, that sounds like a negative thing, but whatever.
I think
you stopped being a fan in that way.
He's calling me a
at
fake
least
fan.
Around the time where you put me onto One Piece. So like everything post like the war is like kind of, you know, it's just literally from your memory of reading it on that week.
I feel like
I feel like they're not reinforced.
You've changed, Chris.
Yeah, no, I feel like the Fishman Island royal family was a blind spot for sure.
So you're gonna remember Punk Hazard elements? That's what's next.
I think so.
I'm not looking forward to Punk Hazard.
Yeah, Punk Hazard, I think, might be my least favorite arc. It's a good arc. I don't think there's like a bad One Piece.
It's gotta be the weakest,
but it is the weakest to me.
Yeah, which
But I think it's only because the way
arc, and
that's when Oda started to like really change his style in the way he composes. He like his panel layouts where everything started to get really condensed.
Yeah, you know what? You're right.
And it took him a little while to really master
it's
that
like
pace.
he gave the series less space to breathe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It took
You're
him
right.
It took him a while to really master that kind of pace. Especially in that moment, because that's when the Straw Hats did like a whole body swap thing. So that got confusing and that became kind of a chore to read. That whole element.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, it's a whole thing. But there's definitely really cool things about Punk Hazard, but I think the way it's set up is not particularly the best. But hey, I'm looking forward to seeing what you think about it.
I want to take a break from One Piece. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that too. But I want to talk about something else I've been watching recently on Netflix. So it's a live action series from, I think it's like a Korean series maybe, but it feels like it could be like Japanese. I'm not 100% sure. They sound like they have Korean names. It's like their names are like Oh Bak Sung or
yeah, that's Korean.
Suyu. Anyway, whatever. I think it's Korean. Yeah. So, dude, it's this live action series called Weak Hero.
Oh, I seen trailers.
And it's like, yes, if you were thinking about watching it, watch it. It is, when I tell you, bro, it feels like a live fucking action anime, and it's not even cringe. It feels like someone that grew up like really loving anime and like how we enjoy the tropes and said, yeah, I gotta make a live action show like this shit.
Yeah, that's cool.
Like it's good. It's really, really good. Even Nikki likes it. She's the one that put me onto that shit.
Yeah, I might watch it. Yeah. I started every now and then I run into a K-drama that's pretty cool. I watched a show called Bloodhounds, which is a K-drama about this boxer who ends up like fighting the mob or something. And it's like these like loan sharks. That's pretty good.
Shit.
I enjoyed that one as well.
Yeah, I don't want to spoil it for anybody. I just want to draw that heavy recommendation.
Yeah.
It is so good.
Yeah, I've seen trailers for it.
That's a great job.
I have not been reading much because I'm making a shift in a job, so I've been a little busy. But I'll be back on it this week. I'm about to finish up a round of Akane Banashi, and then I'm back on Witch Watch. Ultra the Hero is still good. That's been chugging along and being interesting.
Ultramarine?
No, Ultra of the Fire, I think it's called. This a brand new series. It's like 4 chapters in. If there's a new series, I try to pick it up so I don't have to catch up to it later. But it's good. It's a solid little series. But yeah, I don't have.
I cannot recommend Weak Hero enough to you guys. I'm sorry. If you guys watch anything brand new, please, I want it to be Weak Hero so we could all talk about it.
I'll check out Weak Hero. I'm almost done.
Is it better than Arcane?
Honestly, I got a TV slot.
I don't know, Brian.
Huh? Is it on Netflix?
Yes.
And what's that? Yes, it is.
Oh yeah.
Weak Hero.
I'll check it out. I just finished watching Andor.
Yeah. How's that? I don't know anything about.
So
if you like Andor, you'll love this.
So fucking good. Andor is such a humongous breath of fresh air into the Star Wars like as a whole. It's just so fucking good. It kind of detaches itself from like the usual Star Wars tropes, like fanfare trumpets and
it is the best piece of intellectual property from Star Wars since the 90s.
Damn.
I'll agree with that actually. I'll actually second that because the series just brings the entire story down to earth. It shows you how people live their lives, how people are oppressed by the empire. it makes you feel for people, and it just, without the like, Jedi, Sith, and all these larger than life fucking problems that usually happen inside Star Wars.
Wait. Time out.
What?
Whoa.
What?
You lost me there, Brian. What you mean, no Jedi or Sith stuff? There's lightsabers and force powers and shit, right?
No, not in Andor. And honestly,
I take back what I said before, Chris.
Nah, it genuinely benefits so much from not having that.
I'm grabbing the words I said earlier and I'm bringing them back and I'm putting them right back.
Don't be cringe. It's actually that fucking good.
Damn, he said don't be cringe.
No,
yeah, you're being cringe right now.
No lightsabers in a fucking Star Wars
because I'm
show.
sick of these dumbass fucking lightsabers being forced down my fucking throat every time I watch a Star Wars thing.
That's the whole point of Star Wars is the lightsabers.
No, it's not the whole point.
Hey, yo.
The whole point of Star Wars is like rebellion and rising up against your oppressor. That's what fucking Star Wars is about. It always has been.
It also
no, that's the whole point of most literature in the 20th century.
What are you talking about?
It's also about making things float with your mind and then throwing it. And then also
all right, if I'm not being silly for a second, if I'm being like all the way dead ass serious, like Brian, there's no way if you don't just take a step back real quick, they could have totally made a rebellion story with lightsabers and force powers. They didn't have to have everybody having it. They could have made maybe the elites have it, and a handful of the fucking
I'm telling you right
rebels have it. But it's Star Wars, bro. Otherwise, then what's the aesthetic of Star Wars other than the force powers?
I promise you,
Star Wars just
this series benefits.
Basically, if someone didn't tell me if it was Star Wars, I wouldn't know it was Star Wars. That's the point, right?
You would know. You would know it's Star Wars. That's how good it is. It's the series benefits so fucking much from not having the Force or lightsabers or Jedi or Sith in it. It really does. Like the series benefits so much from not having that be a part of it. And that's because it gives you room to have like legitimate tension in a series, in a Star Wars series, like legitimate tension.
I just disagree,
to like build it organically and be more human.
Yet doesn't mean it can't.
All right.
And I think there was some really good tension, especially in the first movies.
You have to watch it.
I don't want to take away. Look, I'm definitely trolling with saying that it's not good because of the powers. I'm trolling. It's probably amazing. I'm saying, and I'm sure it. All I'm saying is, I think it's ridiculous to say you can't have an amazing Star Wars story like that without there being powers involved. I don't think that takes anything away from Andor.
I know. I'm not saying that's the only. I'm not saying that's the only thing. I'm saying that because there is no force involved, that it elevated the story specifically.
Sith lightning.
Huh? All right, whatever, man.
Okay, but like, what if Andor?
You can have tension with Sith lightning. You don't think so?
What if Andor did a?
It's just a different. It's just a different. I don't know. It's whatever. It's just a different fucking vibe. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I've never seen any Andor. I don't know anything.
I guess I don't know what you mean. I'm not that big of a Star Wars fan.
Yeah,
to like feel that contrast. Ultimately, I would have to watch the show, and I am interested in watching it too.
I've heard it's really good.
I have heard it's really good. It's the second season.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it ties together to Rogue One, which once you watch Rogue One after watching all of Andor, it feels like a complete 180 in terms of like how it's kind of like the tone of it. Because Andor, the tone is a lot more gritty and grounded, and there's not a lot of humor in it compared to Rogue One, which kind of immediately, like, since it came out before Andor, it was still following the same kind of trends and norms of traditional Star Wars stuff. So there's a lot more quips and jokes and stuff like that, and it's a little more lighthearted, and it has a lot of traditional Star Wars stuff in it. But honestly, with Andor, it was just a nice breath of fresh air into the whole thing. So I appreciate it very much for that.
Yeah, I remember.
Do you think if somebody went in without watching the rest of Star Wars, like they went into Andor, do you think they would get the vibe of Star Wars from just Andor alone?
It's like, I mean, it depends what you mean by the vibe of Andor. But I think, I mean, like the vibe of Star Wars. It depends what you mean by that, because it sets up pretty much everything that happens in the original trilogy. Like this, if you watch Andor, it leads into Rogue One, and then Rogue One leads into A New Hope. So it gives a lot of maybe not much needed context, but it adds a lot more like interesting context to that whole trilogy and like Rogue One and stuff like that. Like, I honestly, after it finished, I really wish that there was more of it. But unfortunately, there can't be more of it because Rogue One is pretty much the end of that whole storyline.
Yeah, I liked Rogue One. I remember seeing that.
I heard Rogue One was not. Oh, was it? You liked it?
Yeah. Yeah, I remember liking
Rogue One was another like big gamble kind of movie as well, because it also didn't really have much to do with like, you know,
the force
and stuff like that. Even though there was one character that was really
the force is with me. I am with the force.
The force is one with me. I am one with the force, and the force is one with me.
Well, hell yeah. A bit of a longer discussion about Star Wars than I thought. But hey, you guys ready to get into the main show proper?
Yeah.
Let's do it. One Piece. This is One Piece chapter 1150, Domi Reversi. We have a cover page story this time. In this one, Yamato was taking the sword, the sword, I guess Yasui, the Don Yasui's sword, to his shrine as a favor from Kinenmon. And he's here. He made it over with page 1 and ulti. And yeah, the pilgrimage is complete. But I don't think this is going to be the end of the cover page story. Usually, if there is one, it would say final volume. But this is just volume 34. So, yeah, I imagine Yamato is going to continue traversing all of Wano. And we'll see some familiar folks on the way. In the main story, however, shit got bad real fast. Right when there was hope injected into the story by Scopper Gaban stepping in and defeating Summers, he is immediately taken out by Gunko, who is then also possessed by Imu, it looks like. And yeah, things go from bad to worse. We open up with the chapter with a few of the giants finally arriving to where the kids are. And, you know, they're going to go get them, but they are immediately defeated by Imu's power. And Imu unleashes a huge amount of Conqueror's Haki, knocking out all the giants and the giant children at the same time. We also see that Imu is capable of summoning these weapons from these pentagram circles and firing them upon giants. So there's like cannons that come out of a pentagram circle. and we see this 2-page spread of Imu in Gunko's body with weird demon wings, emerging from her back, and a trident. I don't even know if she had that before, Gunko. And immediately, Imu starts lambasting her holy. Say what? Say again, Josh?
I said, no, that's new.
Oh, okay, cool. She immediately
That's new. The pitchfork.
Yeah, the pitchfork. So she immediately starts lambasting the other holy knights and is like, all resistance must be quashed. Is this the best thy sleep tids can do, Killingham? And Killingham's like, not so, great one. The nightmare holes remain open, and they continue to spawn monsters from every nightmare found on the island. So, yikes. And not only that, Killingham can also revive the sleep tids that were defeated. So that's not good. Imu commands Summers to lead the line of the giant children. The other Straw Hats are still stuck. Robin's trying to pull off the thorns with her powers, but it doesn't seem to be working well. The Emu asks us, like, the question now is with whom will we parlay using these whelps as bait? And Summers is like, absolutely right, oh great one. It makes no sense, a kingdom without a king. So basically, Emu goes over to Dory and Bragi, who are currently approaching them, and she bestows the dominance over the land onto them and declares them the kings of Elbaf. Bragi says, nah, fuck that shit, and immediately grabs Gunko in the air, Gunko Imu in the air, and she commands her to bring back the children, and tells them and asks how many of them there are. Imu responds with, understand this, Dory, understand this, Bragi. Thou wilt meet with Beard Hill Jarul and cut his head off and hold it aloft. And then she summons this book, and out from this book, she pulls out a fucking gun and a dagger. She uses it to free herself from his grip and then shoot Bragi's arm off, and says, I give thee the power of evil. Bragi's arm is blown clean off, and then they explain that, and then Gunko goes on to explain as she summons a pentagram circle. She says, in exchange for some measure of thy lifespan, thou wilt receive an undying body and uncanny strength. Under fealty to Mu, though thou art unbound by common sense and logic. Demons are the only proper form for life to take. And then she uses this move called Domi Reversi, where she sinks Bragi into the ground and flips him over. And then after that, he reemerges from the ground in a super demon form. And it's pretty nuts. Bragi starts attacking his own men. And he seems significantly bigger now. I don't know if this was always the case, but he's like towering over the other giants in a way I didn't think he did before. But yeah,
I think maybe he was made bigger.
Mm-hmm. Maybe he's more like the Oni, like the bigger, the ancient giants, where he got turned into that. But maybe we'll get more of an explanation later. It's not looking good. As they're attacking their own men, we also see that Dory has also become a weird demon giant, and Emu uses the rest, transforms the rest of the giants there into demon giants, and it's not looking good because now the chapter ends with a 2-page spread of all of the evil turned giants attacking their own, and I think they are significantly bigger now. Because the giants that used to be smaller are now a lot bigger after they were transformed. The chapter ends with Emu saying that it will not be destroyed, but preserved and ruled over. And he's like, well, maybe now it's time to stay and watch to see how useful they will be in war. back at the village, everybody's trying to get Ja Rule to flee, and Ja Rule's like, never tell a warrior to run from a battle, and yeah, that's where the chapter ends. Josh, what did you think about chapter 1150?
All right, so I enjoyed this chapter. It's not my favorite one of the week.
Mm-hmm.
There was a very, very fucking epic chapter. As a matter of fact, I mean, all the chapters epic this week, but man, there's a lot going on Elbath, man. Shit turned the fuck very, very, very fast. I mean, Emu is here through Gunko. Yo, like, I'm at a loss for words, to be honest, guys. They got to fight all these giants. I'm going to be honest. I'm not super interested in what's happening right now. You know, I don't mean that in a critical way. More so that, like, I think this is all just set up. Like, this is Oda, like, just doing the work, setting things up piece by piece, setting a situation up. So then, you know, for the real story points to start. But yeah, I mean, the fact that people could be flipped to like turn into demons. Is there a precedent for that anywhere else in the series? I can't really think of it. Not that there needs to be. I'm just curious. You guys have right
outside of the Holy Knights, I think that's it. The Holy Knights haven't been transformed to the Holy Knights haven't been transformed to the same degree that the Elbaf Giants have. But yeah, they're definitely, I think they definitely had the same thing happen to them where they had like the flip. And that's why they're so cool being so fucking evil for no reason.
Yeah, that makes sense. Maybe that's what happened to them too.
Mm-hmm.
Right, because they are purely rotten to the core. Yeah, it's funny that he made these giants like even bigger because I was starting to kind of lose track of the scale of things, especially when they show like the Straw Hats and then they show all the giants next to each other, so they don't really look that big in comparison. It's a little jarring, but I don't know. I feel like I'm sputtering on. They need to nerf Gunko's shotgun though. That is OD.
Yeah, she just pulled out a fucking gigantic old style
Hellfire shotgun.
Yeah.
I tell you, if Punisher had a shotgun like that in Rivals, that motherfucker needs to get banned every game. All right, Brian, what were your thoughts on One Piece?
This was a pretty interesting chapter. Seeing Emu kind of turn the giants into ancient giants. I'm pretty sure that's what's going on here. Just because, you know, they increase in massive size and they get the horns and shit. Really makes me curious what the fuck her power really is, because it looks like she can do a lot of stuff. It looks like she can bestow power on people. She can give people immortality, it seems. Like, it's just very interesting. Like, I'm kind of really curious as to like what exactly it is, and I wonder what her kind of what's the word I'm looking for? Like, what is her counter to Luffy? Like, what is her opposite to Luffy when it comes to like how she brings people around her? Because if they're kind of like heading on a collision course towards each other, and one is the complete opposite or the eternal enemy of the other, like there has to be some thematic opposites or similarities between them in the way that they influence people around them. Because it doesn't seem like Emu has an like inherently evil or mean relationship with like the God Knights so far. It seems like she expects a lot of them and they are kind of like, you know, respectful of her but not fearful of her, if that makes sense. It's very, very odd. I'm really curious to learn more about her and, you know, what her character kind of entails. But those are my thoughts so far.
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
I'm sorry, Chris. Yeah, it's just funny you say that, Brian, because like I feel like the opposite with a lot of the things mentioned. Like, I think. Well, not with a lot of things, but just the last thing you said, as far as shit. All right, let me do my thoughts one at a time. So Gunko, as far as Gunko being the opposite of like Luffy, an obvious point right there is that he's all about freedom and empowering others to be free, and she lets her boss control her.
Oh no, I'm talking about
you know what I'm saying? Literally dominate and her will through her. Oh,
I'm talking about Emu because Emu's the one that's controlling right
now. Well, I mean, there you go. That's the difference. Emu controls people, dominates people's wills. But yeah, that was another thing. Like I think Emu, that was Emu the entire time. I think that was like Emu using his abilities. I mean, is Emu a woman?
We don't know.
Do we know that?
We don't know. It would be just they for now.
So yeah, I think whatever. Yeah, I think Emu was using. That was Emu's abilities, like those portals, pulling out like the gun and flipping people to turn them. I don't think that's Gunko's powers.
Oh no, it's not. It's definitely Emu.
Right. All right. I just wanted to make sure I was clear with that myself. All right. Go ahead, Chris.
Yeah, I'm very interested as well. It seems to be very different abilities from what we've seen. Even as far as devil fruits go, this is pretty excessive amounts of power to the point where I don't even think she has a devil fruit ability. Emu does. I was thinking about it, and I'm wondering what the connection between her power and actual devil fruits are, and I'm wondering if they draw from the same source of power. I can't tell you what her ability is unless like Emu is a literal demon, and I think that, you know, a long time ago, as far as like the dynamic between Emu and Luffy goes, I think the interesting thing is that a while back Mihawk said that Luffy's greatest strength is his ability to make people want to help him, like of their own free will, and to, you know, to be able to bring people to his side even if they were former enemies. And Emu just takes control, you know. Yeah. It's definitely more of forcible control over someone as opposed to winning someone over and having them literally dedicate their life to helping you because they like you so much. I'm very curious because it's very possible that Emu and Luffy meet here for the first time. I'm sure that Luffy and Loki are going to pull up with Zoro and Sanji as well, and Hajuden and his crew. And it's going to be a big, cool 2-page spread moment where they're going to come up. I don't think they're going to do anything of consequence to Emu right now, but I do think it'll be the first time that Luffy meets Emu. And I'm very excited to see how that turns out because Luffy's so disconnected by the actual weird 4D chess political games that are happening that he's just going to see this weird demon thing and go, what the hell? You know, I feel like he's just going to get taken aback. I'm excited about that, though. as far as how they're going to get out of this one, I'm very curious to see. I feel like Dory and Bragi and the demons that have already turned are probably going to leave with Emu. Elbaf as a whole will probably be saved, but the giants that have already turned will probably end up leaving here with the Holy Knights and then returning for the final battle where they'll probably be freed then somehow. But I can see like the old giant pirates being turned against Elbaf and Luffy making Elbaf a territory of his.
Or maybe Luffy will hit him with a freedom punch.
That would be cool if you hit him with a freedom punch, but yeah, maybe Luffy maybe the Nika fruit has the ability to kind of just free them from this kind of thing. I think that'd be really cool.
This is something that just came to my mind. Emo has to be connected to the devil fruits.
Oh, right? Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
At this point, without a doubt now. All this demon stuff and the literal pentagram.
Yeah, it's devil stuff, devil fruit. The literal devil's right there.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I have a grasp on the obvious.
Yeah. I'm curious to see how, though, because I'm wondering if it's like kind of... Yeah, I really don't know. I don't know how they would connect, but I have a feeling that they do. And that the same source that she uses to summon these weapons is the same source that gives the fruits their abilities. It's hard to see it not connect, but maybe it's not even connected at all. That's also a possibility.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's all I really got to say about One Piece. It was a shorter chapter. It was 15 pages, but a lot is crammed in here. I feel like a couple of panels are like almost unfinished in a sense, like especially early on. There's like it comes out of the margins a little bit, and usually these things happen, sometimes like immediate chapter releases have these little flubs, and then for the volume releases they're cleaned up. But yeah, we talked about Punk Hazard being kind of like overcrammed and stuff. And I feel like sometimes there's one of those chapters for me where I think it shows up again where like it's very dense chapter stuff, which I understand because Oda wants to finish this story this century, I would hope. So he has to do these kinds of things. But no, that's really all I got for One Piece. Do we have any rebuttals or anything?
No, sir.
Alrighty, with that being said, let's move onward.
This is just some really murderous shit.
Sakamoto Days. This is Sakamoto Days, chapter 215, Sea of Corpses. Last we left off with Sakamoto Days. Shin has been going up against X. He's been fighting him, trying desperately not to give off any bloodlust because the bloodlust would inevitably summon the Takamura personality from X's arsenal, and Shin would not be able to beat that OP motherfucker. Unfortunately, he was unsuccessful in keeping bloodlust away from X, and the Takamura personality is fully emerged as they sit in this aquarium. We open up this chapter as X is getting closer to Shin. Shin is wondering how long he can last against Mr. Takamura, but he has no choice. He has to man up and go for it. Immediately, fucking X cuts off a pillar in like quadrisections where Shin's like, oh my god, even looking into the future I can barely track his movements. He's like, I can't believe Nagumo and Mr. Sakamoto fought this beast without ESP. And he realizes that if he loses focus for a split second, it'll be instant death. Right there, he gets slashed by X, and he's kind of surprised that he managed to keep his ear from that attack. He just jumps down into the nearest vat of water, and he ends up in the seal tank. Unfortunately for him, X tracks him down pretty immediately and breaks him out of it. It's not bueno. The kids around this aquarium, who are apparently still here after all of this, are crying now. And one of the adults is like, "Hey, you made my kid cry," and X is like, "What?" He turns over, and all of a sudden, before he can act, I guess, on killing these guys, Shin makes his presence known right behind him, and draws his attention. What seems to be an attack towards Shin actually turns out to be a guy behind Shin with his gun drawn. He gets cut, he gets beheaded, but also so does his gun. It feels very difficult to cut a gun in this way, but he beheads this gun as well. And Shin is surprised, like, who is this guy? And the guy who just got his head cut off doesn't even seem to realize that his head is cut off. He's like, but I was just trying to support you, Master X. And the other henchman is like,
it's literally impossible.
Yeah,
because his lungs disconnected. Yeah. It's okay.
Yo, the other henchmen are like, "No, Kato! We came here to help because we heard you were fighting Master X." But unfortunately, Takamura is reacting to his bloodlust. The head is still talking. The head hasn't realized that he's been beheaded. You see a little panel where he's like, "Guys," and then X just golf swings his head so hard.
He said, "Guys."
He hits him so hard with the side of his sword, like a golf club, that he completely obliterates another guy. It's fucking crazy. The head causes this guy to get split in half. And these, one by one, these henchmen are getting fucking sliced and diced. Shin is like, what am I going to do now? Do I try hijacking his thoughts to stop him? Will it even work? Or if I fail, it's over. And he starts to imagine himself also beheaded alongside the other guy. And he's just like, yikes. And Shin's like, man, I need backup yesterday. You know, he walks through this tunnel, this really cool tank tunnel thing. And as he's walking, one of the henchmen sinks down below and faces him. And he is now surrounded by a tank of bodies and blood. Shin is like, God damn, no. He can't even register what's happening before X emerges again from the top of the ceiling tank thing, busts a hole through it, and is approaching Shin at full force. Shin starts to think to himself, like, keep your cool and freeze him with ESP. If Mr. Takamura senses bloodlust from me, if his sword moves faster than my ESP, I'm dead. And then Shin notices that there are bystanders who didn't get out. And he's like, shit, it's okay. I've got to delay him. At least until Mr. Sakamoto shows up, I got to create a brief opening and strike with everything I got. And the chapter ends in a 2-page spread. Right as Shin tells him to freeze, even the speech bubble gets cut by Takamura. And it seems that Shin is possibly dead ski. But we don't know. That is where the chapter ends. Josh, what did you think about Sakamoto Days chapter 215?
RGC.
Whoa.
For me this week.
Certified RGC. Certified RGC.
Certified RGC.
Yeah, what can I say? The chapter was gas. I mean, Takamura was chasing Shin around a fucking aquarium. It was intense. It was hilarious. And the best art of the week, in my opinion, without a doubt. So, yeah, I had to give it to Sakamoto. I mean, Shin's not dead. maybe he's seen the future.
Yeah, maybe he is just seeing the future.
Knew that couldn't happen. But, like, with that said, right? If you notice, see how he slashed the speech bubble?
Mm-hmm.
I think that's more than just a comic effect. I think he's displaying at what point of him saying freeze did his neck get sliced before he even finished saying it.
Mm-hmm.
So right at the end, he was so close to finishing that last E, like the E. He got slashed.
Yeah.
Yeah, shit might be done.
Who knows? Now that you think about it, he may be just seeing the future.
He's probably seeing the future.
Next chapter, he's just dead.
God.
And that's just the rest of Sakamoto Days.
So I'm trying to figure out, like, the reason I gave this to RGC is because I kept arguing with myself, like, all right, what's going to be panel of the week? What's going to be panel of the week? And all of the options were in this, like, majority of them were in this chapter. And, like, I think the number one has to be the guy's head getting chopped off and he's still talking. He's just like, but why? Like, I was just trying to help you. Like, it's either that one or after X stabs through the top of the tank and you see like all like the water, but like it's drenched with blood just coming down, and it's like X like with it splashing on him. That was pretty fucking sick. That's page 16.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, loved it. Brian, what were your thoughts?
This chapter, I know last week I said this is like prime Sakamoto Days, but this chapter, oh my god, I was actually rolling. Usually at this point in the series, a lot of shonen manga would like sacrifice humor for like really serious story beats and story moments. This series just keeps piling it on. This whole shit was so fucking stupid with the guy's head. I was just like, what the fuck is going on? The fact that X hit him with a hole in one was actually so fucking funny. And
it wrecked him too. It didn't just like knock him out. It fucking like shot through him. That's going to be on Death Battle one day. They're going to have X fight somebody, some other psychopath with multiple personalities, right? And that's going to be reference to why this nigga's going to win. Because that's the amount of strength it probably takes to do some shit like that. It's like it's probably Super Saiyan level shit.
Yeah, and it
X might be a Saiyan.
And sorry, I lost my train of thought.
I'm sorry.
No, it's all good. Hold on. Let me try to find the chapter real quick.
You were saying how a lot of series tend to do less humor and more serious moments.
Yeah, and I also found it pretty funny how when Shin was also thinking about getting decapitated, the head was also looking down at him because it was still alive, even in his imagination. And yeah, this was a pretty fun chapter. I really liked everything that this guy's doing right now with Sakamoto Days. It's a nice breath of relief, you know what I mean, after the prison arc, which was probably my least liked arc so far. But this was pretty cool, pretty fun stuff. More like it. Sakamoto Days, keep it up. Yeah, those are my thoughts.
I also enjoyed this chapter quite a bit. I don't know if it's my RGC, but it's very close. I think it is my kind of second place, if anything. Yeah, just seeing Shin do literally everything he can just to kind of survive is kind of crazy. I did miss a lot of like the menace that Takamura brought to the story. I was very like concerned that like after he died we wouldn't really get that anymore, but it's good that we still have that to some degree, even though it is through X. Although he does lose a couple menacing points because Takamura's character design was just like so chilling a lot of the time, and it's just not the same with X. But it's still the same kind of threat, and it's really cool to see. I'm very curious to see if this is. To see if this actually means that Shin. I don't think Shin died. I don't know why, but for whatever reason, I'm still. There's like a part of me that's like a little cautious about. It's like, oh, did he just kill Shin?
Nah, he definitely like because Shin could read people's bloodlust. You know what I mean? Like Sakamoto, he's done it with Sakamoto several times, where he kind of reads Sakamoto's mind and Sakamoto's killing him. So this is probably that. Just used for a nice little cliffhanger, but yeah. I'm 100% confident that Shin is okay.
Yeah,
there's zero chance he's dead.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't really have a whole lot to say about this chapter. A lot of really fun action as usual. Very funny in the middle there. But yeah, I thought this 2-page spread with the bodies in the tank is so cool and very creative. I feel like this is very prime Sakamoto days where he would just create these like action movie shots that are really cool and really dynamic. So I thought this chapter was really great. But that's all I really got to say about Sakamoto Days. Shall we move on to the next one? Any rebuttals?
No, sir.
Hell yeah. Then let's move onward. Kagurabachi. And with that, I'm going to toss this one over to Josh.
Thank you. All right. Kagurabachi, chapter number 81. Core. So last week, things took a turn for the worst in the Kuminabi headquarters base. Hakuri, our favorite sorcerer in this series, undebatable, was being escorted around the headquarters by a member named Kuro, one of the masters of the Kuminabi headquarters, as a matter of fact. Turns out that there were traitors in the organization. They were being blackmailed by, putting their, they got their family members put in danger or whatever. So, yeah. And the way they betrayed the Kuminabi was by ingesting these seeds that, upon death, expand into these huge roots that will go throughout the building and ultimately disrupt and destroy the barrier, I believe. So, one such thing happened right next to Hakuri, and Kuro was able to get Hakuri out the way and saving him, but it seems like he died in the process. So moving forward, we're at for this week we have Master Izaru, one of the heads of the Kuminabi, the guy with the wicked sideburns that had mad beef with Chihiro.
Are they even sideburns?
A whole bunch of arguing.
They're sideburns, but they're here. So.
What the hell is going on? You're right. I didn't pay attention. He has like the handlebars. Think about like a handlebar mustache.
Yeah.
But no mustache, just handlebars. Wolfed out handlebars.
Inverted handlebars. Usually the handlebars are here, but now they're here. I don't even know what this is called. What would you call it?
And I'm telling you, he shaved. You see this part here, like on that I'm pointing to.
Right.
He cuts everything else but the sides,
this part,
and has let it grow out for like years. centuries.
And he keeps shaving the other parts.
That's dedication. Yeah. He never ever. He maybe touches it up a little bit. Like
I like to think that
everything else is clean.
I like to think that a barber fucked him up once, and then he just committed. He tried to play it off like this was on purpose.
He's like, nah, I like this. Yeah, he said, no, this is what I wanted.
Oh, you mean my inverted handlebar mustache? Yeah, no, that's a style.
Yeah. And I wanted to go to that LMFAO concert.
I wanted it. I love LMFAO.
Yeah. Anyway, he's talking to the people in the core barrier room, you know, the important space that keeps the barrier alive or whatever. And he gives a little bit of an exposition about what the 4 important things that the Kuminabi has to protect, even with their lives: the force field's core, the Shinuchi, the Swordmaster, and ellipses. We have a panel of Hakuri. Maybe he's the 4th one. I don't know. But he's running and he keeps telling himself that he's a core fighter. He's a core fighter, trying to keep himself hyped. So, you know, he doesn't get down on himself. He runs in to another Kuminami member, but he's on super high alert because he already knows that, like, you know, a few of the people there could possibly be traitors. And this guy's like, yo, like, I'm the troop leader who reports directly to Kudo. I'm Kashima. And he's like, Mr. Kudo wants to find you. Is he not with you? And Haku's just staring at him like, because he doesn't know if he should trust him or not. He's like, what's wrong? Then over the loudspeakers, we get the explanation that, you know, the Kuminami headquarters have been infiltrated and they detect at least 50 seeds. Like at least 50 more seeds, and there's like 500 people. So the math is 1 in every 10 people at least. So niggas is on high alert. Mm-hmm. The head guy, the one that just met Hakuri, was named Kashima. He was I'm on a roll this week with the names.
Yeah, look at you.
Kashima's like Kashima's shouting out orders to everybody. Like saying, yo, like, stay a few meters apart from each other, start scouring the base to like check for like you know, where people might, you know, where the sorcerers are, where, you know, et cetera, et cetera. And then out of nowhere, we see Mr. Kudo come down the hallway, which surprised me, and he is like hurt, you know, from like what happened like with the branch incident. And he's like, because the guy gives Hakuri the order to go, like, to head towards the Shinuchi, because that's his mission. I forgot to mention that earlier. But yeah, Kudo's like, you know, it's too dangerous to go alone. Like, I'm gonna come with you. You know, so Hakuri's like, oh, like, you're alive. And he's like, yeah, I got lucky, man. And then Kashima was like, halt. and Kudo's like, Kashima. Like, yeah, you know, it's even though like I'm hurt or whatever, like, he still has to go along. Like, he still shouldn't go alone. Like, everything's riding on him. And Kashima is like, precisely, like, you know. Yeah, I stopped because I seen it was a delay.
Yeah.
But we good?
Yeah, we're good.
All right. Yeah, so Kashimo is persisting, saying like nah, like, you know, he should just go alone, you know, like, just to be safe. Haku's like, yeah, but like Mr. Kudo risked his life to save me back there. And he's like, nope, no exceptions, just go. And Kudo's like kind of yelling at Kashimo, like, yo, it's me. And after he tells him to halt again, they're all staring at each other. And
I think this is
Hakuri
a double.
Notices there's somebody like this woman.
Hold on, I think they literally printed the same page twice.
Oh, it is.
What?
Adding out the pages.
There's 2 pages that are exactly the same.
Huh?
Yeah, I didn't notice that.
7 and 8.
Which pages?
7 and 8. It's the same one that you were just talking about. When Mr. Kudo comes in, they're like, Mr. Kudo, you're alive. It's the same page twice in a row. It's funny. I think it's just like a little error, like a publishing error, but
I don't see it.
He doesn't tell him to halt again.
I don't see it.
You don't see it? It's right there. It's the page with where he says halt.
All right, page
7 and page 8 are the same page.
halt. You're right. After he says, "Mr. Kudo, you're alive."
Mm-hmm. Then the next page after that is the exact
He says
same
halt.
page.
And he says, "Yeah, but Mr. Kudo risks his life." No, they're different pages.
No,
what are you guys
No, it's
talking
not.
about?
It's the same page.
Guys,
Page 7 and
then,
page 8.
then my shit is updated.
Yeah, yours is probably updated because I'm looking directly at it.
Yeah.
And it's 2 pages in a row. Let me see. Let me refresh my my Kagurabachi chapter.
Yeah.
No, I mean,
That's
I refreshed. I refreshed.
No,
the
I
app.
refreshed it too.
Oh,
It's
same.
crazy. Are you sure you're not seeing the same thing? It's 7 and 8.
I'm dead ass serious.
Maybe on the phone it's different.
Fair pack.
Yeah, maybe on the phone it's different.
That's
That's
hilarious.
so weird.
No, it's on my phone too. Go to 7 and 8.
I'm on 8 right now. Page 7, he's like on the top right, he's saying spread out. If anyone makes suspicious moves, I'll break their limbs. I won't let anyone near you. And then that's when this
He
guy
says
comes
halt.
out of nowhere, right?
Yeah, and then the page
Huh?
after that one,
Kudo.
it's repeated on our end at least. Maybe
No, it says, "Mr. Kudo, you're alive. I got lucky. Halt." He says, huh? Yeah, so wow, that's so weird. That's like that for y'all.
Yeah, that's very weird. I don't know what that's about. Anyway, I didn't mean to interrupt you for that. I just thought it was weird.
Nah, it's okay. That was
Let me see. There's a
That's-
comment
that's,
section on each of the chapters. I want to see if anybody has the same thing. But you could go on.
yeah. Nah, sure. So where I got left off is that after this tense moment of Kashima and Kudo almost arguing with each other, Hakuri notices down the hall there's this sorcerer kind of taking an athletic stance. She has like knives in her hand. And he yells, "Get down," but it's too late. She slashes 2 of the Kuminabi, two Kuminabi sorcerers' heads off, while Kashimo gets in the way to save Hakuri, because she's trying to stab him. He actually gets stabbed himself, but hopefully he's okay. One of those sorcerers happen to have the seed in them, so their branches start breaking out. And Hakuri's actually able to save himself with launching an Iso at one of the branches, destroying it. Pretty cool. Let's go. He, in the process, he gets knocked back towards the wall, and when he looks up, he notices that Kudo has a knife to Kashima's neck, which clearly that's not the real Kudo. It's a shapeshifter guy, and he's like, "Whoops, time's up." I guess his clone fruit doesn't work anymore.
Yeah.
So yeah. He's like, "Yeah, it was just my transformation sorcery. Mr. Kudo died protecting you."
Pointlessly, really.
Yeah, he's like, pointlessly, really.
I was like, all right, you didn't need to add that last part.
That's your opinion, dude. But-
Yeah.
So they're like, all right, that's the last of Kudo's troop. The quota has been met, and the Western Underground Sector's main force has been neutralized. Go ahead and kill Hakuri Sazanami. He's like, quota? What? And Kashima's like, with the knife to his neck, he's like, oh, run. Like, don't trust anybody. Get the fuck out of here. Excuse me.
You're good.
Sorry, I'm just giving the internet a moment to buffer. We cut back to the main core room, and they're saying one of the guys like the casualties are mounting. Something strange. It's not just the pine tree victims, and he's like, oh, they're Master Izaru. Izaru.
Yeah.
I gotta go back to the beginning. Yeah, I said, all right, Izaru. He's saying, oh, there's two types. He's like, I'm talking about the enemies here. The first have seeds planted in their bodies. He's like, they're probably like have families being held hostage, which he's right. And he's like, the other type are like the actual people who sold our information out in the first place for them to have even taken advantage of the other officers. So there is a core group of Kumanabe members that betrayed them for their own reasons, and not seemingly. After he says that to the barrier dude, he starts freaking out and he's like, "It's over. We're gonna fucking lose. L's galore." And so I was like, "Yo, hold it the fuck down, bro." He's like, "Just identify anyone not following orders. All right. Same with the troops. We'll know who our moments are like in a minute." He's like, "Besides, the cool thing about this ambush is we'll be able to get these traders out after we're done with this shit," which is a very positive way of looking at that.
Yeah.
So we cut back to Hakuri and those two sorcerers that just conquered Kudo's unit. I mean, goddamn, not looking good. Hakuri's also starting to have like doubt so in. He's like, "Damn, I'm all alone. I have to fight, but these fucking monsters are chasing me." Then he starts thinking about how like his powers are limited, so he's probably not even gonna like be able to fight them at full strength, which might not even his full strength probably wasn't enough. And then to make matters worse, he sees Uraha running towards him, the dead swordsman that Samura killed, and he's like, "Wow, okay, these niggas is really doing a lot." Like that's not I can't trust what's coming towards me. It's probably somebody else copying his form, and I should just let these guys kill me. And then Uraha shouts towards Hakuri, and then he yells "centipede." And in the process, he uses his EA white purity style, and then goes right over Hakuri and deals with it. And I don't think he kills them, just like parries the two sorcerers that was coming at the Hakuri. So though naturally, Hakuri's like Mr. Ura, and he's like, "Oh, I'll explain later. Come with me." And that is the end of this wild ass chapter. Brian, what were your thoughts?
RGC.
Hey.
Yeah.
Hold on. Let me find it. There it is.
Certified RGC. Certified RGC. Certified RGC.
And I'd like to say I called it. I called it.
You sure did. And I'll even throw Chris a little bit of credit too. Brian for sure called it, and Chris was in on that. Yeah. Both pretty much said that he's definitely coming back.
Yep.
Brian was more bullish about it, but you basically was like, "Yeah, he's coming back," and I didn't believe it. I thought that they just was saying it that way just to sound ominous, but man, I guess I don't know my tropes, huh? I'm gonna lose a lot of bets.
They just weren't confidently killing him off. They were just saying they left avenues for him to come back. Yeah. They left it open-ended. They left it too open-ended.
It was very Nobara-esque.
And
I would like to add something else because I can't wait. I'm sorry. I can't wait. I'm going to lose this bet I have with Chris, and he knows it. He knows if Uraha is actually alive, then that absolves Samura of his crimes, meaning he doesn't need to die now.
I'm not.
He can be that. He can be happy with his father, with his daughter.
I'm not
a little bit.
I'm not gonna call it yet. I still feel like I can be beat up on that one. I still feel like the rug can be pulled from under me. So I'm not going to go ahead and say it's over yet. I'm not going to count my chickens before they hatch.
But you hear what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
The things I'm saying make sense.
Yeah.
In a good way for you.
Yeah.
No, that's
hey, I'm not
definitely
going to lie.
to
It's looking good, but I don't want to jinx it. I don't want to come on here and be like, I did it, because we don't know. Samura could still very much die, and it doesn't necessarily. It could be a tragic death, where his mind is changed, but it's too late because Samura gets him. Yeah, you need this.
Do I need it bad? Yeah. Sorry, Brian. They cut you off again.
Yeah.
It's all right. I was just saying. What was I saying again?
I don't think you started yet, Brian. That you knew that Uraha was alive.
Yeah, I knew that he was alive, and you know what? I'm gonna do another shot, and I'm gonna say that Kudo isn't dead either. I'm calling it right now. The show.
Someone's feeling confident.
This guy's not a reliable source for whether Kudo is dead or not. And Kudo was too confident sending Hakuri out. He did not look like a man who was about to die. I'm telling you right now, he is not dead. He is not dead. I refuse to believe it.
Frankly, I'm not going to bet against that because I have a feeling that, you're not wrong there.
I'm not betting against that for sure.
You know,
the only pushback I had to that specific statement is that Hakuri is super important for them. Super duper important.
Yeah, I agree. But he said, don't worry about me. And then he sent him out. And this guy's a head of the fucking... He's one of the heads of the Kamunabi. You really think a little tree explosion is going to kill him? Come on. He may not be a combatant, but he has some shit. I bet you he has some shit up his sleeve to make it out of that.
Yeah, he has one eye closed. He's a mysterious guy.
He has one eye closed and he wears this mask. And maybe if he takes off the mask, he becomes Monster Chopper or something. And,
Yep.
I bet you he's fine.
That would be the best case scenario.
He shows up with a guy like this, and then he throws him.
To kind of keep going, though,
that would make this the best series.
I really like this Kashima guy, even though he's dead now. He, rando character ended up being extremely clutch. He's probably so far the MVP of the arc just for this moment because he saved Hakuri's life from immediate decapitation, and this whole arc is over if Hakuri dies. So this guy having the balls to stand up to his quote unquote boss too, to be like, actually, motherfucker, you're gonna stay right there. Hakuri, go ahead. I don't know. I kind of like this Kashima guy. It sucks that he's probably dead now. But I really liked what we saw from him.
We didn't see him die.
There's no way they just let him live.
That would be hilarious if they just let him live.
they just toss him aside. I feel like that would be kind of... Well, I guess, yeah, you're right. We didn't see him die, but it just makes sense.
Well, they did say that their quota was met. So technically they don't have to kill anyone else.
I don't know. All right. He feels a little too
he's not important enough.
Character-y. Yeah, he's not rando enough. He's not fodder enough.
Yeah.
I feel like he's too urgent. He was too urgent to be somebody to get thrown aside like that. But That's happened before in this series.
I don't know. He's a named goon. You know, he may actually
goon.
make it. He may actually.
What are we talking about?
Kashima. He's not just some henchman. He's a named goon.
He is a named goon. He does have a tag on him. He's not just a grunt.
Watch, we're gonna get to the end of the arc, and then he's just gonna be in a sling, and he'll be like, "I can't believe we made it through."
You're gonna be like,
Hakuri's gonna hard vouch for him to join the Chihiro squad.
Yeah.
If he survives, that's a hard vouch.
He better.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's dead.
It was, and to kind of continue on, it was funny to see the Sideburns guys say that this guy was fired after this.
Yeah,
like the guy who is out here fucking losing his shit. He's like, this guy's for sure. Like, I'm for sure firing him. Which goes to show how confident this guy is. He knows for a fact that the Kamunabi are going to come out of this the winners, so that he can see to live another day to make sure that this guy does not have a job and he's unemployed.
Yeah, I feel that.
And
real
now
confidence. Actually, he earned most of the book for that.
True. And now for the main event, Uruha coming back.
This dude's fired.
The white purity style is such a fucking cool ass technique. Every time it's used, it has so much fucking swag. Every time.
Yeah, a lot of about the EI purity thing where you have to turn the blade and do this cool pose. So much of it feels like unnecessary action, but is created solely for the coolness factor. You gotta go.
And then you like shoot yourself across the
And then you have to
hall,
spin the
blinding
blade.
speed.
The fucking guys, every time they do this, they have to spin the blade so that like the bladed side comes out. But they start with the blunt side of the blade and they have to spin it. And then they pull out the blade.
That's going to be insane in the anime when it comes out, by the way. That's going to be such a fire ass moment.
Yeah, this is a pure aura forming technique for sure.
Man, I'm so excited. I hope we get some flashback shit next chapter because I need to know immediately what the fuck was up with Uruha and why it took him so long to come back, and because he had to make some kind of agreement somewhere. Like maybe he was having a secret meeting inside of the autopsy room because they were doing an autopsy, quote unquote. There was an active autopsy happening, so maybe he went on a secret mission. Maybe he got a new sword. Maybe I don't know. I'm really curious to see what the fuck is going on with him.
Maybe it's linked to Samura's abilities.
Yeah, Samura definitely probably gave him the Chihiro treatment.
I have a theory.
That is connected to like when he went to his Phoenix mode.
I'll end my thoughts so Christian can do his theory.
First things first, this is my RGC as well.
Certified RGC. Certified RGC. Certified RGC.
You know, I thought it was a very particular time to bring Uraha back. I honestly did not expect him to come back. I knew he was going to come back, but I didn't think it would be like relatively immediately after his death. I mean, it's been less than an arc since he was killed. So I expected them to give some time, kind of in the same way I thought this was going to be kind of Nobara-esque, where we wouldn't see Uraha for a long time, and then they'll just like pull him out when like, you know, the chips are really down. But yeah, it's really cool to see Uraha again. My theory as to why he's alive is I think Samura he's out to kill the swordsman, but we've seen that he can defeat them in a way that severs their connection to the swords before anything. So I think he like Chihiro, he did the same to Uraha so that someone from the Hishaku would get the sword and he would have less compunction about killing that guy eventually. I think the plan for him was probably to get the swords in the hands of people who are actually disposable to him and then destroy and then kill those sword bearers. So that Uraha and the others can live, but not have to be killed by him later because of the sword stuff. Does that make sense?
Wait, is he cooking?
Am I cooking?
Yeah. That's why he wants to do it.
Am I cooking?
The way.
So really, that's my theory, is that his initial plan was to sever the connections between the sword masters and the blades, so that when they fall into the hands of the bad guys, he can basically kill two birds with one stone. And kill the bad guys and also kill sword bearers. I don't know. That's my 2 cents. I don't know if that's true.
So wait, you're saying that he let Uruha live?
Yeah, that he killed Uraha just enough to sever the connection between him and the Kumayuri, so that it would fall into the hands of someone like Hirohiko, someone who he could kill without any regrets, who is objectively evil.
But doesn't he have ill will to? Well, not ill will, but doesn't he have like a bit of bad feelings towards himself and the other sword bearers for what they did? Because I think the only person who he thinks is absolved of the situation is Rokuhira.
Yeah, I mean, hey, I don't think it's accurate. It's not something I necessarily believe, but it was something I thought about. Because 2 times in a row, Samura failed to kill somebody, despite how fucking powerful he is. Like, I don't think he killed Uraha because he couldn't, because Uraha is stronger than him in any particular way. If Uraha's alive, it's because Samura left him that way.
Yeah, that's probably true, yeah.
I don't think he hates the sword bearers. It really hurts him to have to kill most of them. I think the only one that he probably wouldn't have any problems killing is the Shinichi bearer.
Because fuck that guy.
Yeah, because fuck that guy.
We can all agree, fuck that guy.
So, you know. But I don't think he has any actual negative feelings about the other sword bearers aside from him. It's more of like a tragic happenstance that they have to die to secure the peace that he's looking for. But that's my 2 cents. I don't necessarily believe that that's the case, but I thought about it and I thought I'd vocalize my little theory here. So I'm putting forth Samura sparing agenda, and the Kashima is totally alive agendas. And those are my copes.
That is just a cope by people with agendas.
Sure.
That is just a cope. It's a cope.
I
had a few things.
Oh, sorry. I just wanted to end it with. I wanted to say about the rest of the chapter. Kudo, I don't think is dead either. So, but maybe he is. Maybe he is just dead. It would be crazy.
Maybe he's Monster Chopper.
He could be Monster Chopper. I mean, that's my big. Monster Kudo is my agenda for this particular section of the chapter.
I hear some tapping. Some taps.
That's my bad.
But yeah, okay. Those are all my thoughts. I thought this chapter was great. I had a great time reading it. Uraha lives. It's going to be fun to see. Will he get the Kumayuri again? And then Samura's like, come on, bro. I tried to get you an out. Now I really have to kill you.
I really gotta kill you.
Come on, man.
I think that's the case, actually. I think that's the case, Chris, because I don't really have much more to add, but I'm going to say this. I think if Samura wanted to do that, why didn't he treat it the same way he treated Chihiro? Right?
Mm-hmm.
Why? Why did he make Uraha more dead than Chihiro?
Yeah. I don't know.
They said they was doing an autopsy on him, meaning that's what I remember that being the conversation. Like, well, you don't perform an autopsy on a person that's alive. I think something was done. They Frankensteined him.
Yeah. I mean, it was that, but they weren't revealing the results of the autopsy.
They had like results that weren't accessible to anybody who wasn't present.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I've seen a lot of people say that this is a trap as well. That this is also some kind of transformation thing, even though
that'd be cringe. That'd be cringe.
Even though I feel like this
would be kind of cringe.
I feel like the showing off the purity style is supposed to confirm to us that this is really Urha, because not a lot of people can do this shit.
Is a pretty big confirmation as well.
Yeah, because not a lot of people can do this style to begin with. So, who knows? Maybe it's a robot.
Yeah, or like he's being powered by a Detsenseki. You know that rock?
Oh, maybe.
So he can only like...
Oh, wait, you might... Okay, wait a second. You actually might be cooking.
Oh.
This guy took off the chef's hat. He just walked out of the kitchen, and he's handing us a nice, delicious...
He heard my theory and how I was cooking, and then I took off my hat. It turns out Josh was just controlling me under my hat.
He was Ratatouille.
And it was actually Josh who was cooking the entire time.
I just don't know if I agree that Samura didn't mean to kill.
No, I get that. I feel that too.
I don't know. But I also feel like I agree a lot with what you said too. So I'm just a little bit of pushback.
No,
I don't really
definitely.
feel too strongly.
I don't even believe it fully. It's just a thought that occurred to me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we can do that and everything. Hey, that's why we created the wrong burgundy bet, so that when we really,
when I feel convicted about it,
when we really want to hang your nuts, you know. What
hey,
I'm
just because you have a theory doesn't mean just because you have a theory doesn't mean you always have to believe it 100%. This is just a headcanon I'm putting out there, and I could be wrong.
You know, you don't always gotta have them swing it out in the streets. You know, sometimes you just keep it cordial.
You know, I'm a responsible gambler. It's why I'm 3-0 currently, or what was it? Am I 2-0 or 3-0?
2-0.
Okay. But yeah, Josh, do you have your thoughts outside of?
Nah, that's about it. It was a really good chapter. I really enjoyed Sakamoto Days. I'm feeling a little left out. You guys don't like fights in the aquarium?
You don't like aquarium brawls?
If you follow the trend,
Brian was like, "Oh, environments, and then he gives you an environment fight, and then you flip on him like that, bro. That's crazy."
I'm sorry, but peak is just
flipped on him, bro.
You can't ignore peak every week. You know what I mean? You can't ignore peak every week.
Peak of the week.
You fucking cheesed him, dog.
He cheesed himself. There, I said it. I said
cheesed himself.
All right. I fwacking said it. Okay.
You can't cheese what is already cheddar.
Fwicking sue me. Fwicking sue me.
What?
Where do we sue me?
Well, it's on my thoughts.
All right. I suppose we should move on to the next one. Yeah. All right. Let's go.
The world becomes my gun.
Dandadan.
Oh, I thought
you scared the shit out of me. I was like, bro, I didn't read it yet.
Yeah, no, I used the world trigger drop. I wasn't thinking.
I like to make sure I'm in a nice controlled environment when I read World Trigger. I want to enjoy it. I don't want to stop. I like reading that shit when I'm home.
No, yeah, next week will be World Trigger.
My gun.
I just like that drop a lot. But we're actually talking about Dandadan, chapter 196. And I'm going to toss this one over to Brian.
All right. All righty then. All right. Hold on. Okay. So, chapter begins with everybody kind of buckled into their seats after various frozen sharks have penetrated the ship's hull or ship's cabin. everybody's kind of have their whatever it's called, the mask thing, for like
the oxygen mask.
Yeah, the oxygen masks and stuff. The murderous family looks pretty pissed off about the whole situation. Granny takes off the mask to kind of relay some information to Momo and Jin. And she's laying down the groundwork. She goes, first, Momo, you use your powers to fish for the flying sharks, and then we'll have Jin use a Kamehameha to shoot it towards the typhoons. But essentially their plan is that they're going to send the sharks towards the water below the typhoon to disperse it. Christian actually brought this up, I think, last week or the week before. I'm not sure. So if they continuously shoot these frozen sharks towards the base of the typhoon, they'll directly lower the temperature of the seawater and the typhoon will dissipate. And Granny goes to go pilot the plane. Sure, I hope she knows how to actually fly a plane. That would be pretty handy. So after she breaks down the plan, Momo and Jin go to kind of get the plan in action, or to actually set it in motion. So Momo goes out and snipes one of those flying sharks and brings it closer, and in a fucking beautiful fucking like, what is this called? A half page spread? It's not a full page spread,
no,
right?
It's not a full 2-page spread, but it's a big 2-page panel.
A
spread,
giant 2-panel spread of like the shark torpedoing away from the fucking plane, which is beautifully drawn. And as they're kind of watching the shark fade into the typhoon, they're both kind of like have a hand over their fucking foreheads, kind of looking as far as they can to see what happened. But it looks like this is going to take a lot more than just one shark to take care of the problem. And then we cut back to the murder family, and they start to think about what they're going to do. One of her sons goes, "What should we do? Do we kill him?" And she goes, "Nah. As it stands, we're up shit creek right with him." And she goes, she goes to destroy, like, I guess the floor below them to get to like the cargo, and she uses her special move, Jennifer Lopez Anaconda. And then she drops down into the cargo hold, and
that was a real movie, by the way.
Yes,
Jennifer Lopez was in a movie called Anaconda.
The author literally just watched the movie and was like, "That's going to be a move in my manga."
Yeah, this was part of his research. And she pulls out a cologne bottle called Eau de Worm. Eau de Worm. And she goes, "Be realized, be granted, our dearest wish. Be realized, be granted. Come forth, arise." And the giant fucking worm from the Evil Eye arc shoots out of the top of the fucking plane, and it is absolutely fucking ginormous. And Jin goes, the Mongolian worm, the Mongolian death worm. And Momo goes, "But how? I thought we beat that thing." And she goes on to say, "The great serpent we served 200 years, growing to its massive size, was killed by Momo Ayase, but the great serpent's will lives on. By some miracle, we found our giant serpent's eggs. We hatched one of the worms and fed it livestock to make it huge." And she continues on to say that
what the fuck is wrong with them?
These guys are weird, bro.
Since they didn't feed it humans,
look at how they're on the worm, like how they're riding the worm. They're like,
yeah, they are riding it outside of the fucking plane right now.
if you see that one panel,
realized.
it's so funny. They're literally like hugging it.
So because they didn't feed the worm humans, it can't use the suicide psych waves or the electric shock attacks or the poisonous mist. And Jin kind of asks, I don't know how they can hear him ask this, but he asks, how did they bring the giant worm along? And she says, easy peasy. When you dry out a giant serpent, it folds up and packs away easily. And you just sprinkle a little bit of water on it, and voila, it's back.
This shit is crazy.
And Jin goes, shit, we don't got time to be dealing with that right now, as he's preparing a Kamehameha to shoot into the worm. But Momo stops him and sees that the worm is eating the sharks, eating the frozen sharks. As the old lady goes, great serpent, please eat your fill and then spit those sharks at the detestable typhoon. Shoot them all out. And now we get a full 2-page spread of the giant serpent worm machine gunning all of these frozen sharks towards the typhoon. And that's where the chapter ends. Chris, what are your thoughts?
I don't even know where to begin, bro. This series is so fucking funny. I'm looking at this 2-page spread, and it still makes me laugh how they're like holding on to the worm. They're all just awkwardly hugging.
Their legs are wrapped around. They're harnessing this shit.
Yeah, it doesn't even seem like their grip is particularly strong. They're just like kind of just around it in a very funny way. Yeah. I mean, I don't know what really to make of this. I enjoy it. It's not bad by any means. It makes me laugh, but I don't even know how to analyze something like this in the same way that we do a lot of other series. I feel like Dandadan's difficult in that degree. It's so nuts and very entertaining. But I've been enjoying it. I really like this chapter. Any series that uses a Jennifer Lopez movie as an attack name might actually is definitely worth consideration. Yeah, this family is. I love how weird this fucking family is, and how like they don't seem to give a shit. They're just like, what? This is normal, you know. But yeah, I don't know what to make of this in the best way possible. It's Dandadan, and it's very funny. And that's all I really have to say about it. Josh, what did you think?
So I'm going to run down a few panels because this week had a bunch of those really good ones too.
Yeah.
So it's not exactly a panel, but if you go to the very first page and look at the top panel, to the right of the anaconda lady with the afro, you see this guy kind of like staring off to the side. I mean, and his face got busted in. I don't know when exactly it happened, but he's in rough condition. And then you kind of look at the rest of the passengers, and everybody's kind of, I forgot there was a whole fight before this, so I thought that was really funny. But he's just, I don't know. When I looked at him, he just seems like someone else just trying to hold it all together, realizing the situation he's in. I think he's the person dealing with everything the worst right now. Kind of like the barrier guy from Kagurabachi. But he's keeping it in because he knows that the lady next to him will probably kill him for complaining. So there's that panel, right? We already said about the shark beam. being shot into the tornado. I thought that was hilarious too. So okay, my favorite panel of this whole chapter, her vacuum sealing the worm to bring it onto the plane. I mean,
she has like a dehumidifier or some shit that's drying it out.
Yeah, like she says, like, because one of them asks like a very sane question: how did you bring this giant snake on the plane? Because we can explain all this other supernatural shit happening, but not that. And she gives a nice explanation.
It's like an airbed.
And just sprinkle water on it. Yeah. I mean, then the snake Gatling machine gun, they're like, yeah, the worm is nerfed because it's not eating people, but it's perfect for this situation.
Yeah, it can still machine gun sharks out of its mouth.
This new season of Dandadan did not treat our worm very nicely. Hopefully in the next season, it will get buffs. Perhaps a new team up. And I will relax with the Rivals references. Brian, you had any thoughts on this chapter?
The art, fucking amazing. The comedy, classic Dandadan. This is just a pretty straightforward, fun chapter. You look forward to it every week because it's going to be fucking ridiculous insaneness. But aside from that, no, not many thoughts. This is a great chapter. Fun fucking read. But yeah, those are my thoughts.
Hell yeah. Alrighty. Well, that was Dandadan. And that's been our show, everybody. Thank you guys so much for listening. You could find me at the Chris Aspinall on Twitter and Instagram. Josh is at JDCole_37 on Instagram, at New Gym City Josh on Twitter and TikTok. Brian is at B.ESP on Twitter and Instagram. He streams video games, I think, sometimes at twitch.tv/itspunchline. I don't know if he still does that, but I plug it all the time. You could email the pod at newjumpcitypod@gmail.com with any questions, suggestions, anything you guys want us to talk about, and we'll answer on the pre-show chat show. We didn't do one this week because I'm pretty exhausted, but to be honest. But next week we'll be back with it, and we'll read some questions and talk some shit. Subscribe to us on iTunes, Spotify, Google Podcasts. Not Google Podcasts, that is defunct. But YouTube, especially. We got 2 new subscribers on YouTube. I'd like to build on that momentum. So if you like the show and you're enjoying the little highlight clips that I put out for every show, please give us a subscribe, because it really does give me a bit of dopamine to see that people really like the show and are following it. So let us know. Give us a share. Let us know what you guys think about the chapters in the comments. Let's have a discussion if you guys are watching and you're enjoying it. And that's it. That's all. We'll see you guys next week. Stay safe, New Jump citizens.
Peace out. Nice Cowboys hat.
They're not winning. They're not winning.
Russell Wilson and the Giants going to win the NFC East, I'm telling you.
You think so?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Jackson Dart will not see that field.
No, he won't. No, he won't. We got Danger Russ. Do you understand?
Danger Russ.
Anyway.
And Cam Scatterboo.
Who's Cam Scatterboo?
Scatterboo.
Oh, you're going to find out.
Scatterboo.
Well,
just remember when y'all started cracking all these Scatterboo jokes about your guy, the good running back.
Wait, no, Chris, we talked about Scatterboo. I remember.
Yeah.
Remember when we were watching that college football bowl or whatever? I remember a name called Scatterboo. The Rose Bowl or some shit. It was.
Were we watching the Rose Bowl together?
We were watching some kind of college football game, and I remember there was a guy named Scatterboo who was putting it in an insane amount of work.
I remember this.
Unless there's another Scatterboo out there.
I remember this. We were at our aunt's house. All right, anyway, that's the end of the show. Bye, everybody.
Jeez.